So today we're gonna talk about how to make your online classes better. When COVID changed normalcy, everything suddenly became online, from work, shopping, and teaching. After more than a year in shifting to online classes, in my case, my problem was I don't even know how to actually teach anymore and connect with my students because my niche was building relationships and interactive classes in person. And that's hard online. And are your online classes getting boring? Well, fret not, you are not alone in this case. Some problems you might encounter after teaching online after almost 2 years. Number one, your students are always bored, just bored, quickly gets bored, and even you gets bored too. Second, because number two, you find yourself having the same repetitive teaching style and you don't even realize it. And yeah, after 2 months, you notice a pattern. And third, there's like less and less student to teacher and student to student interaction. Well, my piece of advice for teachers like me though, don't be too hard on yourself because when some students are really bored, it's not your fault. I repeat, it's not your fault because these students are also tired after switching from one Zoom account or from one Zoom meeting to another and sitting down the whole day looking at the screen. So that's why they tend to be bored after a year of doing it online. Second, repetitive teaching style. Well, we all have hit a wall at a certain point of our lives. So, creative block, writing block, anything that you've been doing for a long time and don't have the heart anymore, well, we hit the wall sometime. So, no worries about that. You just need to step up, have the right mindset to actually pick yourself out from that box of blaming yourself because you have too much pressure with everything lately, most especially with ourselves. Third, less and less student to teacher and student to student interaction. Well, the students get distracted and it depends of the size of the class, the number of students that you have. So we also don't know and we can't monitor everyone if they are really paying attention. So an assistant would be great if you have one. So are you ready to make your classes better? To make your classes better, you have to have the right mindset and you need to bring that energy and vibe to your class too. So say yes to commit, sister. No more bored students. So to avoid bored students, then you just need to, number one, gamify the entire class. What I'm trying to say is that you can set on the onset that today our goal is to check who is the best team. Would it be team boys or versus team girls? Who will win at the end of the class? So you can do something like that, or you can use Class Dojo to give the students incentives, or you can use templated PPTs where you can actually score while you're having the class and students can see it. Second would be use technology as an advantage, like gaming apps or educational apps. And third would be let them have roles and let them interact and let them help each other like do this. Okay, you name one student and this student is tasked to help that person who's going to present in front of the class. So let it be a class where students are leading and not you talking all the time, and that's more fun and less stress from you. You just guide them. Another tip would be what I said earlier, use technology as an advantage. We have a lot of gaming apps that you can use to review in your classes or do it to check if they really understood, and these gaming apps actually give you all the reports that you need as well, which question would be the hardest and which topic they are not doing so well, so it helps to actually search them out. If you want to look it up, then you can also see some videos of mine in my channel how to use them. insert plug. Okay. Second, no more too repetitive teaching style. You just need to simplify the learning objective into student-led activities through outlining your class or lesson well. So we have here, I usually use 3 elements when I outline my class. I make sure that there would be a team activity where they would help each other. Second is solo individual activity. I usually use the game apps for this where they use separate gadget. If it's not available, you can actually join the game, your game and make them as the ones answering if they don't have extra gadgets, because not everyone has an extra iPad, an extra phone, or some are just using their phones to learn. So be mindful, and you can ask them to just unmute and answer with you. And I always make sure that I join the game and call it Ninja Team, because some would have internet breaking down in the middle of the game, so they can join me instead. And the last element would be them having to look something up or share something. So that those are the 3 elements I always have when I outline my lesson. So it's very good to manage your time as well to avoid repeating. And you make sure that after you list down all the activities that you have in mind, you weigh and arrange your activities properly. Which one should we do again? And which one should we do like maybe in just 5 minutes, so we can have like a moment to reflect what just happened. So always weigh which one matters more, so you give more attention to that. And if you have recurring style and it gets boring, then you can always ask feedback. Is it good to do? Was my lesson good? Is it good? Is it bad? Or at the end of the class, you can ask the students, which activity did you like most, and which one should we not do again? And when you fall down and you hit a block, then it's always okay to ask help from your colleague. And you may not know that the colleague as well is hitting a block, and then together, 2 brains would be better than one. You can like fill each other's gap. Less interaction. As I said earlier, let students lead, assign roles. Assign roles, like not really like a strict one, but I usually gamify my lessons. So I would say, okay, you would be the timer, and then this student will do all the countdown with such vigor and passion, and then someone would be your mini teacher. Like it depends, like you would vibe out your students first, your class, how it's going, and it gives them more energy if someone or their fellow students are actually taking charge too. And also, if you want more interaction, then use virtual cues. I use gifts that would really rouse their curiosity, and also will really urge them to speak about our lesson. And sometimes I even use funny gifts, so they would grab the attention of the kids. Second would be you doing the cue, like spotlighting yourself, everyone can see you, and you ask them to do the same. Or you spotlight someone else, and then the rest can use the chat box to actually discuss what's happening to her or describe. If that class is a noisy class, then you utilize the chat box as well as the area where they can answer. Usually I just open the chat box when it's like I allow them to chat the answer or their options. If they don't have the poll option in Zoom, I spotlight students, and sometimes I spotlight 4 people at the same time. So if you are using Zoom, it has a spotlight feature where you pin videos all together or solo. So students are really paying attention with this kind of trick, and they will see their own face and they get surprised. So here's the quick summary for number 1, gamify the entire class. Use game maps, let students lead, and with repetitive teaching style, outline the activities of your lesson. Have non-negotiable standard elements of your class. Weigh and order your activities properly. And always ask feedback or help. For less interaction, you can have let students have roles in an online class and virtual cues. So, thank you all for listening to Work Hard, Work Smarter with a Heart. I hope you enjoy your future classes, and if you have any questions or any